Guys and gals, welcome back. I know it's been a while. How would you like me to show you how I sharpen Spyderco on a Tormek T4? Let's get to sharpening. So we got to get the system ready. So you just got a water bottle. I use distilled water, but you can just do normal tap water, anything like that. And this is a CBN wheel, which doesn't need water. I like using water personally because it just cuts down on the dust so that I'm not breathing the dust or anything along those lines. So I'm going to do it with water because I dry it off afterwards. I mean, I've had this for, God, better part of a month or so, and it's still not rusted. It's because I dry it off, like you just dry it off when you're done. The only thing I didn't like about this was I had to get a washer from the hardware store because this wheel, one, didn't allow for that to actually come out, and two, I had to modify the screw so that it could actually tighten down far enough. But the biggest reason for the washer on that one side is so that I can actually lift up and drop down the water trough. But I'm going to fill that up and we'll get it going. And luckily this doesn't need nearly as much water as with the stone because it's not collecting the water. It's just using the water as a surfactant, so to speak. So even that should be plenty enough. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things about this system. Just listen. It reminds me of those little waterfalls that are on, like, you get the little desktop waterfalls and that kind of thing, but I love the sound of this. It sounds so nice. It ticks all the boxes for me. And then if you've watched any of my videos, you kind of understand this process, but I want to walk you through it. So first, clamp it down. I press down on the front just so it's holding it, tighten down the first knob, and then tighten down the second knob. And that gets you where you should be. And then after that, you guys always see me do the Sharpie trick with the Tormek. It's because I like removing as little metal as possible. So doing the Sharpie trick allows me to scratch it and see, okay, am I removing too high of an angle, too low of an angle? Matching the factory angle as close as possible, which is really nice. If somebody wants me to alter the angle, I can do that too. But as far as a standpoint of, okay, I want to be able to pass this down to a family member, something like that, removing as little metal as possible is the primary goal. Because if you're removing as little metal as possible and sharpening it, let's say, twice or thrice a year, it's better than, okay, changing the angle to something significantly more shallow, unless you're using it that way. But for like EDC pocket knives, Leathermans, Gerbers, Spydercos, Benchmades, that kind of stuff, I would think you'd want to pass this down to a family member just because they're so nicely built. But yeah, and that's the reason why I do the Sharpie trick or the marker trick, is so that I can scratch it and actually get the correct angle, which I'll show you next. So with the Sharpie method, basically what you're doing is laying it flat on the stone, and instead of turning it on, what you do, push the stone away from you, and then you can lift up and see where it's removing, which I'm going to take a look, and it looks like we're right where we need to be. So if you needed to adjust how you do that, just so that I can show you a little bit, is I'll tip you down just ever so slightly too. There's two screws back here. You'd loosen them both up, and then there is a dial, which allows you to precisionally adjust up and down. And it's even got little number markers, which actually I'll bring you around and show you. So you can see the numbers there allow you to see, okay, are you going up, are you going down? And then you can kind of get a good guesstimate of, okay, where you need to adjust to get the precision, the precise angle that you're looking for. Get you right back here, and I'll run you through the sharpening process. Because not terribly hard, it's more just the setup process. So let's get to it. Now with me, I like going the tip first Tormek does recommend doing the heel first, but I found I like doing the tip. It works better for me. All the Sharpie mark, and then we go over to the other side and do it, because we can feel now that there's a little bit of a burr on the back side, not that side, the back side. You can feel there's a burr all the way down. So now we go to the other side, because we've removed the metal on the one side, removing equal amount of metal on the other side. Cut in. And then also with the Tormek, you don't want to be pulling your arm towards you. You want to be lifting the heel up. And then from there we go to the stropping step. So for that, turn off the machine. I can unclamp it too, because it's not really particular that it's in the clamp. And then flip the machine around, because you want it going away from you as opposed to towards you. Turn it back on, and then we'll give it a nice light stropping. So go to that back side first. Now, you can use all kinds of different things, whether it be a diamond emulsion, a green chromium oxide, buffing compound. I've just been using what Tormek gives you because, okay, might as well use it and see how it works. I enjoy it, but show you how to do that. You just put a little bit on like that. Smear it around with your fingers. And you don't want it to be, like, soaking wet in this. It's a nice leather conditioner as well, so that's also a nice bonus of it, is the fact that it conditions the leather. They also have some, like, composite ones, too, which I haven't heard wild things about, but at the same time, I don't have any experience. Would be fun to mess around with one and see what I think. But so far, I'm liking the results. And you can see that it drags a little differently, too, where it's a little bit smoother. And you always know me, I love these little brushes. They work really good. You can get them over, you go to any store like Walmart, Fred Meyer's probably, it's just called a military hairbrush, but this one is specifically a beard brush. But it works great for burr removal. Do that, do it one more time. One more time on the other side. And then we should be pleasantly sharp. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's more than pleasant. Yep, that's exactly where I want it. Now, I already know a few of the questions that are going to come up. One, Sam, are you still using that 1x30? Of course I am. It's really hard to beat what the 1x30 can do, just as far as different belts, different grits, all that kind of stuff. The Tormek, yes, it's wonderfully fun to use, but for removing like a chip out of a blade, or thinning a blade, or reprofiling to what a person wants specifically, it's a lot easier done on the 1x30. But from a standpoint of like what I enjoy, personally, I like using the Tormek more. But that's just me. Your mileage may vary. I know a lot of guys that love the 1x30s, the 1x42s, 2x72s, and those are different sanders if you don't know what I'm referring to when I'm talking about that. But I know there's also a lot of people that like water-cooled systems or whetstones even, which is the whole thing. Like, there's not a one-size-fits-all kind of solution when you sharpen. Because for me, I love using the Tormek. I know people that hate using the Tormek. But for me, it's very much so aesthetically pleasing. So I get that sound. I don't have to worry about dust being collected because I actually use water with my system. It's a very repeatable edge. It's very consistent. And for me, I just like how it works. It's light, it's easy. There's not a bunch of belts I have to carry around and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I really enjoy it. And then as far as power-wise, I'm still using that little Sportsman generator. It works great. Still runs and starts on the second or third pull. Still runs fantastically. I do, however, want to get a solar generator so that I can go out and do like camping videos and that kind of stuff with the Tormek, because it being so quiet, I could go out in nature and do a sharpening video. But let me know what you guys think of that. And also, what do you think of the Tormek? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I know you guys have been pretty intrigued by the 1x30. And then also, I've got some new belts for the 1x30, which you might be interested in. And hopefully I'll get a video up on them soon. But all I've got to say is, wow, am I impressed with the new belts. So until next time, stay happy and healthy. Take care.